The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Power Trading Hour with your host, David White. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, David White.
And welcome, everybody, to another exciting edition of the Power Trading Hour with me, your humble, lovable, and squeezably soft host. Once more, into the breach do we go, dear friends.
The following takes place between 2 p.m. and 3 p.m.
And what do we have happening today? Well, we're off a 1.5 on the S&P cash. Volume is actually fairly decent for a Friday without much movement. We're just a hair under 2 billion shares on the New York Consolidated Tape. Going into what's probably going to be a long weekend for TFNN, as we're based out of Clearwater, Florida. And depending on who you listen to, we're going to get somewhere around 80-mile-an-hour winds, 11 inches of rain, and a storm surge of 5 to 7 feet. This compares to 1918, the worst time that Clearwater ever had in recorded or even Aboriginal Indian lore. So that probably goes back to the 1600s or so. That was a 11-foot above mean sea level storm surge. And that was 1918, and nothing worse than that. There's kind of a little, if you look at the map, there's kind of a nice little knob on Florida's west coast, and that's right down there at Sarasota and Bradenton. Kind of shoots everything off, and normally during hurricane season, they go right up into the Panhandle or over to Louisiana, or sometimes they just take a curve and go down there and smack Mexico, just for the fun of it. So we'll see how this happens, but my guess is that there won't be many people around on Monday unless something drastically changes. I've always had a kind of a theory that normally when they build everything up this big in the media, it seems like you get 2 or 3 of these things right after Harvey. And that is that they build it up, and then it's much less than what they said it was. They'll do that a couple of 2 or 3 times, and then nobody will leave. And then we'll actually get it. So I'm always kind of worried when people really try to build these things up, because the problem is it real, because everybody will be prepared. It's if it isn't real, they'll do it 2 or 3 times, and then no one does get ready for these kind of things. But I'm all ready to go. You can always give me a call and wish me encouragement as the Walking Dead starts, I don't know, somewhere around, at least in this area, probably late Sunday night, first thing Monday morning, we'll probably be getting the brunt of it. But you can call me at 877-927-6648. You can email me at path@tfnn.com. And, of course, you can always put a message in the den. And what else is going on? Well, come 3:30, we'll be talking about probably the biggest thing in technology next week, and that starts on Tuesday. So we'll talk about that a little while at 3:30 Eastern Time with Tom O'Brien on his show. We'll talk a little bit of technology and see what else is happening. But that's about it. We had a few things happen today, but we'll talk about that as we go on. Kind of interesting things. We'll get a little deeper than we do most of the week. We'll get into the weeds on a few of these stocks. But in the meantime, we've got to kick this show off, as we always do, with a little bit of history.
And it's all just a little bit of history repeating.
Man, can you just never get tired of Shirley Bassey and the Propeller Heads? That was a song that just hit it out of the park. Unfortunately, on this day in 1900, one of the deadliest hurricanes in U.S. history hits Galveston, Texas on this day and killing more than 6,000 people. In fact, they're not actually sure, but maybe as many as 12,000 people. This actually led to a technology that was to be adopted by many fairly soon, and that was the punch card. Why it had been around since right after the Civil War. This event actually got it going. The governments wanted to be able to count people and know what happened to them. And at this point, everything was on paper, and it got washed off to sea. All they knew is that there were approximately anywhere from, well, they found 6,000 bodies, so that's what they did. And when you're talking about bodies, if you've ever seen the pictures of it, literally, it looks like a river of bodies going through the intercoastal part between Galveston Island and Texas itself. And I've been down there many times. It's hot and steamy, kind of like Florida without the palm trees. And I don't know, I like Texas, but I like Florida better. Texas coast, anyway, most deadly in history. Interestingly enough, as most things in the aviation business, they call it tombstone technology. On October 2nd of 1902, construction began on a massive seawall. 2 years later, the wall, 16 feet thick by 17 feet high, constructed all of cement, stone, and steel bars, was completed. Thanks to the city's preparation when a comparable storm hit in 1915, he said, only 8 people died. So not much going on out there today, but we live and learn, and that is the history of humans. And of course, we are kind of frontier psychologists in a sense, and that is that we have to know how people react. And I kind of went to Sam's Club and Walmart today at lunch, picked up some last-minute things. Just wanted to see how people were reacting. Interestingly enough, what is it? WMT, isn't it? Interestingly enough, the things flying off the shelf today, it's down, and I'll get into that in a minute on Walmart. The things flying off the shelf today were those extremely expensive coolers, which I already bought. And what's the name of those things? They're not polar bears. Anyway, someone may be in the den. Yeti. Yeah, that's what they are. I was thinking, I just couldn't think about it. I spent a couple $100 on one. I should be able to remember. Anyway, those things were literally one in every basket when I went to Sam's at lunch today. And I went in there and picked up my milk and some other stuff. They got the best price in milk. It was like $1.50 cheaper than it is at Walmart. I don't understand why, but certainly it is cheap on very certain things. Of course, I bought my tractor trailer load of Cheez-Its, as you must do for any storm, just in case. You can live, it's a scientific fact, you can live 10 years on Cheez-Its alone. And of course, that's not a scientific fact. But we'll talk more about this. Now, why is Walmart down? Well, there's a little bit of a price war going on. We'll talk about that when we come back. Give me a call, 877-927-6648. Wish me bon voyage as the White House decides to set sail probably Sunday night at some time.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABCs, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
Tiger TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video giving you crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full-fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high-definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com. Platinum, grains, crude oil, gold, copper, cattle, hogs, gasoline, natural gas, coffee, cotton, cocoa, and sugar. These are just some of the commodities mentioned in the most recent issue of Andy Hecht's Techno-Mental Commodity Report. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Techno-Mental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you will lock in the low rate of only $79 a month. Sign up right now for the Techno-Mental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen, live during those shows, and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den, absolutely free, for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. Dave takes your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
So what happened to Walmart out here today? Well, Target? Was it TGR? I can't even remember anything today. TGT, isn't it? El Targeto came out and said that they're already announcing sale prices for Christmas. What's this, the 8th of September? They came out. This thing did get hammered down below $56 earlier in the day. So what do you got going on with that? Well, a little bit of desperation. Target really doesn't have anything approaching Walmart's online resistance to Amazon, and I think that's kind of the idea, that they were going to at least shore up the retail positions. But again, that's at the cost of an early cost of dropping margins on some of their products. So yeah, we've got some price wars going on between the two big retailers, and that's as Walmart starts to try to make at least some move into the online space. But Target hasn't been able to do much yet, and got a pretty good whack today. It's recovered a lot of that, but my guess is this thing has a lot of problems going forward. There isn't a lot to make you think that this thing's going to be doing that well as we go forward. As we said in the opening segment, a lot of stuff going on with Apple. Some new news. I kind of alluded to them last couple of days as rumors. We'll talk about what we do kind of know now that changed in the last 24 hours about Apple and their presentation that will come out on 1 o'clock Eastern time on Tuesday. Hopefully we will be back here and not in a rowboat, but we soldier on. Anyway, Apple down a little bit today, and there's some fairly decent juice coming in, of course, on the 5th when this thing came off a previous high. that it did so with lighter volume. You had 70 million shares on August 8th. Man, can anybody hear that? It's like the fifth C-130 that just went over. This is all the Coast Guard base for this whole kind of Florida area is not too far from us, maybe 5-6 miles. And of course, they're all getting out of Dodge before everything goes to the crapper. And they've been flying over one over another. Oh, something else really cool happened today, but I'll talk about it when we get done with Apple here. Anyway, down volume's not all that picking up, but we're gonna talk about it at length at 3:30. But keep an eye on this, because I don't think that there's, other than the hurricane, which doesn't seem to be doing anything, this is probably what is going to move the market as far as news other than the hurricane starting on Tuesday. And there are a lot of expectations. We'll talk about maybe some of the cost and margin issues and that kind of stuff. But again, at 3:30 with Tom O'Brien as we wrap up the week and we go run and find a hole to crawl into until Irma gets done with us. So what do we have out here?
Hello?
Oh, I got somebody on the line. We got Mike in Toronto. How you doing, Mike?
Yeah, hi. Thanks for taking my call.
Okay.
I missed the first 20 minutes of the of your show, but I'm kind of baffled by the choppiness in the spiders. And the S500. Any idea behind the choppiness in the last 2 to 3 weeks?
Well, it's pretty much worked like my model suggests it was. Maybe I'll show that later on if I have time, but it's pretty much done what it was supposed to do. The only thing, and my model agrees with the market not going anywhere, but that would go against history that shows that the market does sell off fairly strongly into these natural disasters, mostly because the insurance companies have to sell bonds, they have to sell shares of stock to pay out these payouts for the claims. So the question is, when does that start? How does that line up? And is the government just going to give them a pass and loan them the money and allow them to sell, 2% of what they need to sell over the last 2 years? It certainly seems like there's a lot of men behind the curtain. To give you a what is it? Not the Golden Road. What is it? I can't remember now. But follow the golden brick road. Anyway, so I'm not really that surprised. You wanted to look at the TMV?
Yeah. I was looking for a final spike in the bonds, and I was going to do the contrarian trade. So I was looking at TMV versus TBT, and what's your gut feeling? Under 15? Don't even look at TMV until it touches under 15?
Well, the first spot that I would have is 1597. That goes back to the September 28th, 2016 low. Let's go back here just a little farther and take a look. So, that's kind of really it. If you hit that level, that's where, this support should be massive, right under 16 bucks. So the one thing I dislike is that the energy so far is pretty much the same energy we had in the previous leg down. So it's not really shrinking here. And to me, if it doesn't shrink, then the best thing you can hope for is consolidation for a while, and then it start going higher. If it does shrink, then sometimes you can get a V bottom. You may get a little bounce out of it. My guess is if this thing continues with the kind of energy that you have, that $16 level will probably consolidate for a while if it's going to hold. So
anyhow, are you looking for big surprises on Apple on Tuesday?
I think so, and I'll get into it with Tom for the most part. But there is, I'll put it this way: normally by this time we know a great deal about what's going to happen. Yeah, and we don't. The leaks that have come out before, we pretty much knew what the phone was going to be. We pretty much knew what the lot was going to be. Unless somebody spoke to Wall Street, as far as I can tell, a lot of people do not know. So the stock kind of acts like it. And certainly the blogs where people are always into this stuff, there just isn't by now, on the last 4 iPhone iterations, by now, I had a picture of the thing. I had almost a bill of materials of what went in it and all the capabilities. So, yes, without that, it's probably not built in. And then there's
any clues from the insiders? Are they selling?
Well, somebody's selling, but the question is, the insiders have all have contracts, and you can't tell what they're doing. If they're selling, it's something they decided 3 months ago.
Oh,
right?
okay.
There is no way of telling if they're selling, if that's because they think this is going to be a Etzel. We'll be back in a minute if you want to hang on. Yes, follow the yellow brick road. I couldn't think of that for some reason. But we'll be back on that yellow brick road when we return.
The Path of Least Resistance is David White's daily trading newsletter, and if you're looking for active trading ideas, then now's a perfect time for a 30-day free trial to this powerful daily trading advisory service. David uses his years of trading experience to offer his subscribers his trading ideas each morning in his Path of Least Resistance newsletter. Using a combination of equity trades along with options, David keeps his subscribers up to date with all pertinent market information with intraday afternoon updates when warranted. Don't miss out on this great chance to get a 30-day free trial to David's daily newsletter, The Path of Least Resistance, with no obligation to pay anything. David has been delivering solid recommendations for his subscribers recently, and if you'd like to see the type of newsletter he delivers every morning, then visit the front page of TFNN and you'll find the Path of Least Resistance under Trading Newsletters. For all the details and to start your 30-day free trial today, log on to TFNN.com now. Biotech is booming, but for how long? Whether you think the biotech bull has room to run or has run its course, trade LABU or LABD. Directions Daily S&P Biotech 3 times bull and bear ETFs. Visit directioninvestments.com/biotech today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC. Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
I had a question in the den. Is Tampa evacuating? And there's no forced evacuations except they've got, I think it's A through F in floodplains. and floodplain A is just about everything on the water. If you got somewhere where you can put a boat right out in front of your place in the water, you're in floodplain A. And they told you to get the Dickens out of there. I think yesterday. Was it before? On the East Coast, anything west or anything east of I-95, I think is forced evacuation all the way down from Miami down to the and back around to Fort Myers. Here, it's everything in floodplain A on the west side of I-75. So there are some forced evacuations, and interesting. I wanted to go down to the beach, but they had the roads blocked off today. Yeah, so it started at 6 a.m. according to Tom. So you've got a little bit of that going on. I just remember when I first moved down here, I moved to the very north end of Clearwater Beach and rented for a year. And then I bought a house on Sand Key and learned all about floodplain. I think I got run out of there while I lived there maybe 4 or 5 times. They were always evacuating us. That was back in the day when Clearwater had 2 drawbridges, and it was unclear whether they could get anybody off the islands. Now both the Clearwater Bridge and the Bel Air Bridge are, I don't know, probably like that bridge to nowhere where it cost like $275 million. I have no idea how much money they threw at these bridges, but it was a lot. Both of them are now high enough that boats can get under them. They don't have to open, and they'll handle hurricane winds. So you can't get in and off the beaches, but before it was miserable. All mobile homes in Pinellas County are to be evacuated countywide. Okay. So, they're moving a little bit farther on. We're looking at, last I saw, just before the show, checked in was, like I said, 5 to 7 foot storm surge and 11 inches of rain. I think that 11 inches of rain and 80-mile-an-hour winds are probably what everybody's looking. Why not just drive away? Well, I don't think a lot of people understand just that there's only one county in America that has more people per square mile, and that's Manhattan. And so you got to, the mobile, I see. They think that the mobile homes should drive away. Well, I've always subscribed to the thought that you should never live in anything that has a parking brake. And that's just my thoughts. But, and we all know God hates mobile homes. That's a well-proven fact, scientific, proved by many colleges and institutions. So what do we have? Oh, let's get back to the market here. I've digressed pretty far afield out here. I want to look at a handful of other stocks and see what they're doing. What do we have? I've been watching this one because it came off so hard, and see whether or not this thing would actually come through and bust its previous low. This is Applied Optoelectronics. This thing had quite a run from $57.55 from June 15th up to 103.41. Lost it just as quickly, if not more quickly, on a huge down day on earnings at 8.4. There was a lot of discussion about whether these guys had some kind of deal, and I think it was with Apple. Anyway, that day had about 4 million shares at $57.55. This thing did pierce it down to 55.13 on September 5th. Just with 3 million shares, though, so a little less than 3 million shares. So it didn't do it with more volume, and it's just kind of gone sideways a little more. I wouldn't buy it here. I'm just kind of noticing that these things have not given up the ghost. Fairly light volume today. Your better thoughts of thinking this thing has hit its low is probably this May 5th low at or gap up, excuse me, at 10.9 million shares. You think that's going to probably just act like a magnet, bringing that back in. Let's take a look at some other ones here. Wanted to look and see how some of these other ones did. We were talking about the S&P metals and mining yesterday, and we'd been looking at that one. We talked about how the last high on July 26, $32.67, 7.3 million shares. Only got it a couple of days ago with 3.3 million shares. Now, this thing did take a big turnout here. Not only did it test the previous high with half the volume of that July 26th high, it came and sold off fairly strongly down to the August 11th low, August 11th low, and then popped all the way back up here and no volume at the top. Energy came off about 15 or 20%. And of course, we saw copper, Mr. Copper, Dr. Copper. Do I have that up here? Hang on a second. Let me get that up. We'll look at a current quote. Let me bring up commodities here real quick. Okay, Dr. Copper. Down 10, almost, 10.35 cents. So pretty big move out here with gold up, $1.50, silver off, 3 cents. More interesting to me in all of this is, of course, the big move down in natural gas the last 2 days. I've been looking for some kind of low and a signal in nat gas, have not gotten it yet. That may come. We've got 620 that's been out here, which is the August 1st low. This is coming down. Not a lot of juice today either, but that would be kind of an interesting test. 620. This may just be one of the better times to buy natural gas. Not today, but all the backup with refining and everything else could be one of these things where you get a little shortage, 3 weeks, 6 weeks down the line. And I don't have any facts yet to back that up, but it seems like when you get a lot of disruption, it always seems to trickle down into crude, into other things like natural gas. So I'll be watching this over the next couple of weeks. Haven't bid it yet. I wanted some kind of huge discount somewhere I could put my back to the wall on buying natural gas, and that was it. OLED. OLED. Cambridge Display Technologies, OLED. This had another name about 4 years ago, and I always think about it. The question is whether or not this thing has a issue with earnings, and at the moment, I can't say it will. I will be talking to Tom about some new technology down the road, which I think does and can put the stock at risk, but nothing in the next few months or 6 months. So we'll talk about that at 3:32. Some new technology in this space, and we'll see what we've got going on. But the chart looks just about like every other chart. The energy on this last move up was pretty strong, though. So nothing in the chart. We'll be back in a minute.
If you're an active trader looking for that extra edge when it comes to trading and investments, then now is a great time to get a 2-week free trial to Tom O'Brien's daily market letter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, comes out every market day at around 9:30 a.m. and provides Tom's daily commentary on the broad market, including the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P, plus specific trade recommendations. There's even an update published most afternoons to keep you informed about the day's market activity. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock and option trade. With Market Insights, there's nothing left to guessing. For all the details and to get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights started today, visit TFNN.com.
If you're looking to open your portfolio to a world of opportunity, consider the new market-safe emerging currency CD from Everbank. This 3-year U.S. dollar-denominated CD gives you exposure to 5 equally weighted currencies from Brazil, China, India, Indonesia, and Turkey at a time when experts see great potential for global growth. Even better, it features a 7.0 leverage factor, which means you could earn a potential market upside payment of 7 times the CD's performance at maturity with no cap if the currencies increase in value over the CD's term. And should the opposite occur, your principal is 100% protected. Keep in mind, returns are based on CD performance. There is no annual percentage yield or periodic rate of interest on this index CD. Don't miss out. The September 28th funding deadline will be here before you know it. So call 1-855-750-4051 or visit everbank.com/TFNN for the CD's term sheet and other important product details and disclosures. This advertisement is sponsored content. Everbank is a division of TIAA, FSB, member FDIC.
The TAS Profile Scanner Plus, developed by John Logan and his team, is a standalone piece of software that can change the way you trade. Let the TAS Profile Scanner work for you by scanning over 5,000 financial instruments such as stocks, ETFs, commodities, futures, and Forex. Right now, you can get a 30-day free trial to the TAS Profile Scanner Plus right at TFNN.com. And when you sign up, you gain instant access to John Logan's most recent webinar, How Price, Volume, and Time Make Market Profiles So Unique. This hour-long webinar with John Logan will walk you through the most powerful features of the scanner and how you can use it to become a more successful and profitable trader. You pay absolutely nothing for 30 days while you try out this software risk-free. For more information on the TAS Profile Scanner and to get your 30-day free trial today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
I had a question. Now I went ahead and closed all my positions this morning, about 10 on the short side. Made a very tiny amount of money. I just don't want to be in a trade when I don't know whether and where I'm going to be over the next couple of days. Historically, you tend to sell off in these things. That we're not today seems rather interesting. But as they say, you always would rather be out of a trade wishing you were in than in a trade wishing that you could get out. And that's it. Anyway, we'll look at some other things out here today. Wanted to see how CarMax did, this thing on a longer chart. I've heard a lot of people on CNBC and others, man, are they pumping the stock. Apparently, if you get your car destroyed and lose your job, the first thing you're going to have to do is go out and buy a new car. I don't quite understand that logic. My guess is that if you don't have a job, you're probably not getting a new car. So this thing did come up here, but they've been pushing this thing, especially since the hurricane. February 16th, $69.11. 2.86 million shares got tested with 2.3 million shares. I think there's better shorts in this sector, but kind of an interesting play out here. What else did I want to look at? Ralph Lauren. We looked at that the other day, so we'll get back into it. Okay. Yeah, this thing kind of moving up on no volume, but I don't think there's a lot. Take a quick look around the FANG stocks and Microsoft. Take a quick look. What do we have? Okay. Half volume, no movement there. We'll take a quick look at Facebook. If there's anything on this. This certainly looks like it's getting ready to go back and retest it. The news today was they're going to throw lots of money at becoming kind of a Netflix themselves. So everybody wants to be in this business. Down a little bit, but again, not much volume. Kind of surprising the indexes have a lot of volume. A lot of these stocks do not. Take a quick look at IBM. This thing, I kind of think that maybe you've got one more gap down. You've had two fairly decent sized. I'm thinking that maybe you get one more, and it's about time, isn't it, for this next gap down. That may find a low finally in IBM. This is down on a little bit of volume, but nothing that exciting. Let's see, what else do we have? I want to look at HTLD, which is Heartland Express. With the fuel costs rising so quickly, kind of interesting to see these transportation companies continuing to move higher. This one, $22.67, December 9th, had almost 900,000 shares, got 900,000 shares. Energy is about the same on the way down and the way up. Maybe they're just ignoring higher energy costs. Hog, of course, has been beaten like a red-headed stepchild. This thing has kind of come back into what should be support. Now, this is bouncing, but on no volume today, so there's nothing that new in that one. Now, which is, of course, the Service Now company that repairs your house after a big problem. A nice little pop on this one today, but kind of rolled back a little bit. So it may be waiting for Monday to see what goes on in that one. U.S. Steel, we talked about yesterday. Wanted to see how this thing came off, but I thought maybe you're going to get 29 bucks out of this to short it. It looks like it's rolled a little today with copper. Some of the other metals and that XME may all be giving the same signal, which is these things are fairly close to some kind of inflection point. Now, U.S. Steel, of course, came down with huge volume back on the 26th of April, did so with over 100 million shares. And, of course, you got into it with 19 million shares on the 5th. Today, we're down on just 9 million shares. So this is not a slam dunk that this thing has hit high. But to me, if you're thinking short on these, then maybe it's next week. Maybe it's about 29 bucks. I think you want to see this thing fill maybe half of that last of that gap on that. Let's take a look at some other stocks. We looked at Apple. Wanted to take a quick look at Oracle. They've been doing some things to try to get this thing going. But up here at its highs, that hasn't been all that exciting. June 22nd, $51.85, 63 million shares. We got into it and went 3 cents above it today on 13 million shares, so fairly close. This thing has a big monster gap from about $46.50 to $47.75. The ex-CEO guy kind of still runs it from the shadows. Everybody knows him, the big sailboat king. It is one of those things where you have to think that maybe the way his options are, I'm trying to remember his name. He has the house with all the, he's got it set up like a bunch of Japanese Bushido-kan things. I can't remember. It'll come to me in a minute. Bought the Hawaiian Island. What else is? I can tell you everything about the guy but his name. I'll think about it in a minute. But anyway, probably the most aggressive CEO over the last 30 years in Silicon Valley. He does not make any money unless this thing hits, Larry Ellison, thank you. He does not make any money unless this thing goes to 80 bucks. So he's basically out of the stock and only gets will make another few $1 billion if this thing gets to 80. And the question is whether or not Oracle's made enough changes. Last week, they put an end to their hardware division, basically firing a lot of folks. And I think the market kind of moved up slowly this week on a little bit of that, saying, okay, we're going to say that all that Silicon Graphics stuff we bought, some of the IBM stuff we bought, all the stuff we bought that we thought we were going to make lots of computers, well, we're not. And I think just letting those folks go and let everybody know that they're going to give up on what's not making the money. But man, this is fairly light volume compared to that gap. I think you've got earnings coming up in the not too distant future. And I'll be able to say Safra Catz several more times. The co-CEO, really kind of co-CEO, CFO kind of thing going on there. Okay, did we look at anything else? I want to look at KR today. This stock is going to get the loser horn today, if I can find it. Where's your loser horn? There's the loser horn. Not because earnings were that bad, but because these guys say, you know what? We've been blinded. We have no idea what's coming up in front of us. And you know what? We're going to quit telling people what's coming up in front of us. We just don't know. And the market does not like it. And you say, I'm no longer going to give you any guidance going forward. And maybe we'll update you once a year. But you know what? I think someone just stuck a stick in my eye. I'm not telling you anything about our business for a long time. And Wall Street doesn't like that. Down on 53 million shares, but that compares to 100 million shares back on June 16th. We'll be back.
Tom O'Brien has just announced that he'll be coming to Boston September 30th for a free workshop, The Art of Timing the Trade. Join Tom O'Brien Saturday morning, September 30th at the Boston Marriott in Burlington, Massachusetts, as he breaks down his trading methodology and provides you with the tools to become a more successful and profitable trader. Everyone that attends in person will receive a free signed copy of Tom's best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System. Daryl Martin from Apex Investing Institute will also be presenting for 90 minutes at this free event.
Hi, folks. This is Tom O'Brien. Join me in Boston on September 30th as I return to my hometown for a workshop about the art of timing the trade. I look forward to seeing all the tigers and tigresses for this special free event.
All action starts early at 7:30 a.m. with a continental breakfast and wraps up at about 1 p.m. Topics that Tom will be covering during his presentation include quality volume, cause and effect, ABC structures, swing points, and much, much more. For all the information on this free Boston event taking place Saturday, September 30th, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, host of the Trader's Edge heard daily at TFNN.com and author of Mastering Probability, a daily investment and trading newsletter service that I send out each morning by 8 a.m. My morning newsletter service covers exactly what the markets have been doing since last night's close, providing you with an edge on your trading day ahead. You get actionable trading ideas, including the exact entry, stop, and profit targets. Plus, I'll teach you the patterns and hidden market correlations that will make you a better trader. As a subscriber, you'll gain access to my 90-minute money management workshop, where I'll teach you the secrets that'll save your assets. The bottom line, I've got your back, including a 30-day money-back guarantee. See for yourself the type of analysis I provide each trading day by signing up for Mastering Probability today. With nothing to lose, this is an offer you should not pass on. Mastering Probability can be found under Trading Newsletters on the front page of TFNN.com.
Hi, folks. This is Tom O'Brien. Come join me next hour as we bisect and dissect these markets. Right here on TFNN. Wow!
And we'll be back at the bottom of the hour in Tom O'Brien Show, talking a little bit about what's going on into Apple's earnings, not earnings, Apple's Dog and Pony Show, as I like to say, starting at 1 o'clock on Tuesday Eastern Time in the Steve Jobs UFO Center. And if you've seen this thing, they basically made it look like the transporter room of the Star Trek or something. They threw $6 billion at this place for offices, which seems a little ostentatious to me. But maybe they know something I don't know. So what else do we have? Wanted to look at the SMHs for John in Sebring, a regular emailer now. What do you call him? Frequent flyer. SMH is out here. Again, we brought this up the other day, and that is you had a huge reversal coming off 89.72 on June 9th. You got back into that. That had 9 million shares, got back into that on September 1st with 6.3 million shares. Energy off this July 3rd low was not all that exciting. So you got your double test of the top, minus 50 cents. Man, I would have liked it if it would have pierced it. It did not. Big reversal day after that high, yet again, 4.4 million shares, but not enough. Today we're down about 1.7 million shares. Could we get one more little push back up to the highs? I think a lot of people are thinking that Apple will save their bacon next week. And we'll bat that around a little bit in Tom's show. But, we're off, 1.5 points on the S&P cash. Never really got much going in momentum, either up or down today. 2.2 billion shares on the New York Consolidated Tape. Basically says it's a fairly decent Friday for volume for such a narrow range. But other than that, that's it. And as always, sell when you can, not when you have to. And maybe Tuesday, maybe Monday, maybe Wednesday, maybe a week from Wednesday, we'll be back here. Same bat channel, same bat time. Have a good weekend.
Larry Pesavento has just started his brand new service, Fibonacci 24/7, and he's already delivering content to his subscribers on a daily basis when the market's opened and even on weekends. Each Monday, you'll receive Larry's written report that provides detailed commentary and a summary on the charts and videos that Larry sends out. And throughout the week, when warranted, Larry will send out via charts or videos or both the key markets that he is watching during the day. This will be up-to-the-date, active trading information that will help you in your daily trading. In Larry's first week alone, he sent out 25 charts, 6 videos, and a full report to his subscribers in just 1 week. If you're a technical trader that uses patterns and retracements to trade, then Larry's service Fibonacci 24/7 is something that you must try. Right now, new subscribers can get a full 30-day money-back guarantee. With nothing to risk, sign up now to Larry Pesavento's Fibonacci 24/7 by visiting the front page of TFNN.com under Trading Newsletters.